Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I have got 4 super easy and delicious shelf stable meal ideas for you. I thought I would take you along as if we were in an emergency situation and we had to cook only shelf stable meals for a full day. So I've got a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, and even a dessert. So let's get started. So we're going to take this triple berry muffin mix and turn it into pancakes. I just follow the directions on the back of the bag. Just add in your water. You don't need egg. A few people I've seen, or on Pinterest, I've seen where you add an egg, and you don't have to have an egg for this. They turn out really fluffy and delicious even without the egg. So I just followed the directions and did that on my griddle, but of course in an emergency situation we would do that on our Blackstone with our propane tank, and then we just paired it with some ready bacon. Winston has a banana, but you could also do canned fruit, whatever you have available to you at that time, whatever you have in your pantry. And then I just get the syrup. This is the one that says refrigeration not required, so that way you don't have to worry about it. If you have no electricity, keeping it cold, you can just keep that in your pantry. So for a lunch option, we are going to use this diced ham. That is super delicious. We'll definitely be keeping that in our stock. And then we're also going to be using a can of whole potatoes. You can use regular potatoes if you have them on hand, but if not, canned potatoes are a great option to keep in your pantry. We're going to be using some seasonings and also some butter. I've talked about before how we leave butter out, so it's not an issue for us to use in a case of an emergency. So I'm just taking and slicing up my potatoes, and then I'm going to take some paper towel and lay them on a paper towel just to get any excess moisture off. This is just going to help get a nice crispy potato when you are frying them in the pan. I'm adding a couple tablespoons of butter. I've got it on medium-high heat. We're going to let that melt, and then we will add in our potatoes. Season with your heart. It's really good to keep extra seasonings on hand so you have them to flavor your food. Just because you're in an emergency situation, you still want your food to taste good. That is really important. So we're just going to add those in, give those some color, and then we will dump in our ham. So here is all of it. I ended up dumping all of it into that bowl. So it didn't make a lot. So if you needed it to bulk it up, you probably need, depending on your family size, you would need a couple cans of potatoes and maybe 2 or 3 cans of ham. It just depends on how big your family size is. But this was definitely delicious. We are going to be making some rice and bean tacos or burritos, whatever you want to call them. We're using the Spanish rice Nor's side. We've got chili beans. You can use refried beans. You can use black beans, whatever you have on hand. We're going to be using that queso blanco just to give it a little bit of cheesiness. That's a great shelf-stable option to keep on hand. And then we've also got some soft shell tortillas. So I'm just going to take and cook my rice, heat up my beans, and then we will get it put into the taco shells. So this one definitely feeds a family of 4 with that 1 bag of rice sides. So I just put some of the rice in there, top it with some of the beans, and then I took and heated up some of that queso and just put that on top. This is a really great option for a shelf-stable dinner, and it's nice and hearty. You've got your protein from your beans, the filling of the rice, and this is a really good shelf-stable option. So we're going to be making a cherry cobbler. So I've got 1 can of cherry filling. Next time I make this, I will make sure to have 2. It needed a little bit extra filling, but you can use whatever pie filling you want or you have on hand. I used a Jiffy cornbread mix for my bread topping, and then instead of an egg, I used a 1/4 of a cup of that applesauce. And then of course, I always have my shelf-stable milk options on hand. For any recipes that call for milk. Of course, you can just use water, but when you have the milk options on hand, it just kind of riches up your recipes, and it helps bring more flavor to your food. So I'm just going to follow the directions. For the Jiffy mix that together. I am preheating my oven to 400, but of course, if we didn't have electricity, I would use the fire pit or my grill, and I would just bake it in that. I'll have a link down below of how to do the charcoal for the fire pit. I'll have it linked down below because I've talked about it before. It's like a big science. It says like how many pieces to put on top and around and all that stuff to get like the perfect temperature in the oven. But y'all, this was so good. Like I said, next time I will make sure to have 2 cans of pie filling, but I loved the cornbread mix on top. It was something different than a normal cobbler, and it was delicious. So here it is, y'all. It was so delicious. I highly recommend trying the Jiffy cornbread mix on top. It was something different and it was so good. That's one of the reasons why I love doing these shelf-stable meals videos, because it makes me think outside of the box of meals that I can make just using my pantry and prepper pantry. And that is it, y'all. I really hope you enjoyed today's shelf-stable meal video. I thought it was super fun just thinking of like a full day plus a dessert of shelf-stable meals. I've really been enjoying these videos. I hope you guys have too. Hope it inspires you to make sure you have a fully stocked pantry or emergency food pantry. It's really good just to have food stocked. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be cereal or, cans of Beanie Weenies. But as long as you have food stocked for your family to eat in case of an emergency, it's better to have something than nothing. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.